Renaissance Unity, all is well? And all is in divine order. What kind of order is he in? What kind of order? Now, this message is going to be brief. But it's going to be a setup, Brett. Can we say setup? It's going to be a setup for our workshop. And so I want you to have time, because some of us are on medication. We need a little time to take care of our meds and get our sweet roll and our juice before we venture over to the center. But I'm pretty excited this morning. Can you tell? And I've already been up this morning since about 3:15 counting my blessings. And that's what I do early in the morning. I start drifting about yesterdays and start thinking, how did I make it over? And into this moment. And so when I say all is well and all is in divine order, it's what I live. It is my DNA. Lee and I spent the greater part of last night putting up Christmas lights. And Brett knows the secret about me. I love those giant inflatables. And Leah keeps calling me a big kid because every year I buy at least 4 to 6 huge inflatables. And so I invite everyone to come past my house by next weekend. I love Christmas lights because to me they are Christ lights. And they let everyone know that this house is anointed, appointed by God. And so, Leah, thanks for indulging me as a big kid, as she says. You're a big kid. But I want us to get intimate this morning. Can we get intimate? It's okay if we get intimate this morning. Everybody on Sunday want to get intimate with me this morning, but can we get intimate this morning? Because I want to ask you something personal. I don't want everybody in your business because it's your business. And you may not want everyone in your business, right? But when we do this little exercise, I want you to close your eyes. And so no one will know whether or not you raised your hand. So can we stand up? With our eyes closed. Yeah. Now, everyone close your eyes. And I just want you to raise your right hand if this applies to you. Are you a morning person? Put your hand down. Keep your eyes closed. Now, I want you to think about that word morning. M-O-R-N-I-N-G. Are you a morning person? Raise your hand. Put it back down. Are you a morning person? M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G. Are you a morning person? Have you ever mourned? Raise your right hand. Are you willing to help someone who's mourning? You may be seated. I know a lot about you right now. Because I want to give you some insider information about you through me. But to do that, I need to let you inside of me this morning. And so this is total trust. And so I shouldn't go to 7-Eleven or Kroger or Walmart and CVS and the man at the counter say, I heard something about you from one of your brothers and sisters at Renaissance Unity. So can I share some insider information about me with you this morning in total trust? Here goes. I was poor. I was obese. I suffered a serious football injury that ended my dreams of becoming a pro football player. I had to file for bankruptcy at one point in my life. I've lost loved ones over the course of my life, particularly my mother, my father, my brother, and my twin sister. I've lost jobs before. People have told me, your services are no longer needed. I've had the IRS seize my bank account. You know how it is when you go up to a register and you're confident that I know I have money in my account, and it's declined, and you have on a suit, a shirt and tie, shine shoes, and they say decline. Anybody ever experienced any of those kind of things that can be losses, can cause grieving, can cause mourning? Those are some serious things that put you in dire straits. Now, I don't want to give you my entire resume of points of remorse, regrets, regression, and resentments. But I do want you to know that many of us are walking and we're wounded. We're walking and we're grieving. We're walking and we're resentful. We're walking and we're remorseful. We're walking through every red light. Can you relate to that? But at some point, after each one of those experiences, episodes, I had to ask myself something in those moments where I was just down, depressed, defeated, disillusioned, devastated. I had to ask myself and the universe one question. Now, all of you are smart, you're seasoned, you're well-read, you're well-educated, and so you probably already know the question that I asked myself and I asked the universe, I asked God, I asked the mastermind. You probably already know it, right? So I don't need to tell you. Or do you want me to tell you? Tell you anyway. But before I tell you that question, have you ever noticed how pushy and persistent problems are? Huh? I shouldn't say, huh? But have you noticed that problems can be pushy and persistent? Can we say that? Problems are pushy and persistent. Anyone in here who's ever had a problem, you know how pushy and persistent it is. It just stays, it lingers on my mind, and it manifests itself in the taking of my energy, my strength, my resolve, my motivation, my inspiration, because problems can be pushy. And they can cast a shadow of doubt. What's that saying? Yea, though I walk through the valley, but I do fear the evil. So watch your mouth. And catch yourself feeling what life really is. Problems are pushy. And sometimes they're so persistent that you want to get into that spirit of Fannie Lou Hamer and says, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Can we all say that? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Now, if you have a level of frustration with some things that are pushy and persistent, join me in a Fannie Lou Hamer moment. And this is how I do it. I walk outside, and I'm walking down the sidewalk, and I say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I want something new. And it's in the newness that I want us to go. Is that okay? What did I ask of myself and the universe with those pushy, persistent problems, overriding what I know is my spiritual foundation? Does it have to be this way? That's my question. Does it have to be this way? Is there another way? The way that I'm thinking, is there another thought better than the thought that I'm thinking about this problem? The universe is asking us to ask a series of right questions that will provide the doorway to the right answers. Does it have to be like this? Have you ever asked yourself that? Have you ever thought about this? Is this the only way? Is this my destination? Is this my fate? Is this the way I'm going to go out? Is this my best self yet? Have I experienced the best days already? There's got to be a better way. There's got to be another road I can take. There's got to be another thought. There's got to be better words. There's got to be a higher will than where I'm at right now. And in those moments where those problems just put themselves on my agenda, you've had a situation where somebody puts themselves on your agenda as the issue that you need to deal with right now. You wake up with a schedule, and all of a sudden, I got to rearrange my appointments to deal with this or to deal with this person. Anybody ever experienced that before? All of us have. But I came here this morning for the purpose of teaching a lesson. What happens when we apply the principles of the unity movement? Now, one of my favorite books in the entire world is authored by co-unity founder Myrtle Fillmore. Anybody ever heard of Myrtle Fillmore? Raise your hand if you ever heard of Myrtle Fillmore. If you haven't, you need to enroll in Reverend Wilma's course on the basics of unity, because she is the co-founder. And she wrote this book in 1936. I don't know if any of us were born then. Anybody here born in 1936 or before? Donnie, you do have an old soul. He does, Brett. He has an old soul. But 1936, Myrtle Fillmore wrote this book. And it's really not a book, it's a compilation of letters. And if you're familiar with the foundation of unity, it started because Myrtle Fillmore went to the doctor, and the doctor said, "You're going to die. The diagnosis is death. Michael, deal with that." You go to the doctor because I have a persistent pain, a persistent problem, and the doctor said, "You're going to die." And she says, "There's got to be a better way. There's got to be another answer." And so she began to practice principles and develop principles for living. And she made this compilation called Myrtle Fillmore's Healing Letters. And I've read this book. The pages are turned up and everything, and got chicken stains from when I was eating chicken, so I've had it a long time. Barbecue sauce. That's horseradish. but that's too deep. But it's a bunch of letters in here. But what caught me this morning, I'm just prepping this morning. At 4:30, I'm prepping. And I'm reading from the very beginning, and I'm one of those people who I want to read every little word. who's the publisher and all that. I don't know why. I should just start. But one of the things that was interesting is she said, my vision is for unity to serve as a link in a great movement inaugurated by Jesus Christ to help and teach people to use and prove truth. Inaugurated by Jesus Christ, but to teach people to use and prove truth. Can we say truth? And the truth shall set you free. I like that. So with Myrtle Fillmore, she must have a lot in common with me, because I'm always up here. I can coddle people, but then I whisper in your ear, what we gonna do about this problem? Huh? What we gonna do next? That's the way I am. And so Myrtle Fillmore, when I ran across that, and I've had this book for so long, but I never noticed that statement. And I never noticed that word, prove truth. Can we say prove truth? I never availed myself to think deeper, prove truth, beyond a shadow of doubt. Yea, though I walk through what? The shadow of death. I can use the principles to prove truth. What are we proving? That God has not given us a spirit of fear. I have plans to prosper you and give you a future that's filled with good health, good relationships, good career, great wealth. Prove it. She's saying, live a life to prove the principles, because they're true. They're the truth. And so that's what I got excited about this morning. But what's the issue? I'm going through these valleys, these dark places, and I'm having trouble discerning where is the light. I'm having trouble seeing that there could be a way out. Anybody ever been there before? I'm walking through this valley, and I'm seeing my shadow. Ever see your shadow? What's a shadow? What's a shadow? I'm trying to tussle with this message this morning, Stuart. I stuck on the word shadow. And so I'm looking at my shadow, and I see my shadow right now. But what is shadows? What are shadows? They're a reflection of you blocking light. Look at your shadow. Look at my shadow. It's created by me blocking light. The light is there. The sun shines. But when I block that light, I see a shadow. That's all it is. I see the podium reflection blocking light. Can we get into the mindset of not being light blockers? I want you to look at somebody and say, stop blocking the light. Y'all said it with an attitude. This time, say it in the spirit of unity, in the spirit of love. Stop blocking the light. Now, Michael Bethwitt says something that I really love. He says, pain pushes until the vision pulls. Let's say that together. Pain pushes until the vision pulls. What is he trying to say here? Come out of my shadow. But it creates the need for agreement about who we are and our capacity to emerge into something greater. Life is progressive. Can we say that life is progressive? And it's the progressive nature of the universe is that time keeps on changing, 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 and moving on and moving on. And every nanosecond is the opportunity for something new. And so this morning, the question is, will you move into the light out of the darkness? And so when Michael Beckwith talks about that, pain pushes until the vision pulls. It's interesting to me. So I can go deeper in this, Michael, in the short time that we have. Because the push, we're always trying to push people. We push our kids, our coworkers, our significant others. We're trying to push them places. And the push doesn't work for very long, does it? They're not motivated, inspired, incentivized, as we say at work. Incentivize them. We give them jokers a raised bread, and then less than 30 days, they're back to their normal self. And so sometimes you have to pull. You know what I'm saying? No, you don't. Because I'm saying when those problems come through people, experiences, sometimes you have to pull away. The pull is to pull away. I got to pull away. It's like saying you're going on a diet and you don't clean out the closets and the cupboards. I'm going to be strong. Those chocolate chip cookies, oh, I ain't going to eat them. And in the middle of the night, Mr. Chip Ahoy comes knocking at your bedroom door. No. I ain't going to eat that, Dr. Leslie. Well, just one. Just one. So sometimes you have to pull away from the person, the place, or the thing. You have to pull away. Can we say pull away? Can you do your shoulders like this? Pull away. It's kind of like being a rubber band. It's like being a rubber band. This is a rubber band. But this is a rubber band. Do we need to prove this? Right, here it is. Touch it, feel it. Touch it, feel it, trust me. How do you know it's a rubber band? I told you so. But what do we know about being a rubber band, our relationship to a rubber band? The rubber band has to be pulled away before it can move forward. That's just like us. To gain strength, we got to pull back. And when we pull back, we're going inside. We're pulling out from the outer world, and we're going inside. It's the inside nature where the Christ is. Christ is in me, right? And living as me. And the Christ wants to lead me to a higher level of consciousness and super consciousness. And so as I pull back, I'm pulling back to claim my identity. I'm pulling back because I know it's the co-creation process with the Christ, God, the mastermind, where I'm at my strongest. And so I'm pulling back. And the more I pull back and go inside, I claim my identity, my original state, my default state. Anybody ever say, that this machine is not working? And so then you read the directions and say, if all else fails, hit this button and go back to what? Default. Your default is that you're powerful. Your default is you're one with God. And it's through this relationship you co-create, but you need to pull back. Because when we pull back and reclaim our identity, we move forward stronger than ever. And so it's that stretching. It's that stretching back that's so difficult for most of us to pull away. And we say release and let go, right? We're constantly saying that. Release and let go. But sometimes you can't let go, and so you need to release and pull back. That's what I want to practice. Pull back so you can spring forward and know now I can handle the external world. Challenges become opportunities. Say this with me. Because of my right and privilege to co-create with God, my potential is always, always, always bigger than my problem. Now read that silently. So now you understand that when you pray, you're not praying for a challenge-free life. We are praying that the challenges that come activate our latent potential and power. Do you understand the difference? I'm praying that my latent power that allows me to be aligned with the Christ. After I pull back, then I'm in alignment, and all that latent potential moves forward, and I am more powerful than I know. And I'm convinced that each and every one of us have latent potential. We started this message with me asking you, are you a morning person? About 3/4 of you said, yeah, I'm a morning person. I get up, I cook the eggs and bacon, the hash browns, and I'm singing. But some of us, that's not the story. We're in mourning. We're in grief. And we've been holding on to that grief, the remorse, for so long. I told you I had a lot of things to get over. I'm still a work in progress. I'm not done yet. But the good thing about it, if you want to take me down memory lane, I'll just tell you, I'm not the person I used to be. But I'm still not done yet. So be patient with me. Can we be patient with one another and see the good right now and see the good fight that each and every one of us is mustering in this thing called life? It is to the point where we want to get to good grief, grateful grief, because we want to be able to say, in response to the question, does it have to be that way? Does it have to be like that? No, it doesn't. There's light. And so my challenge for you this morning is kind of simple. I want you to ask yourself, is the experiencing of this person, this place, or this thing a push or a pull for me? And if it's pulling you in the direction that you want to go for a lifetime, pull back. Resist their push. Pull away to a greater purpose. And this one thing, I gave Adam an envelope. What does the envelope say, Adam? Now use your big boy voice so they can hear you.
Do you think you can help me out?
Now use your manly voice so they can hear you.
Do you think you can help me out?
Do you think you can help me out? Sometimes I get in crowds and I have to go, or I think they're going to leave early, and so I keep envelopes with me, and I just slip it to the people. What does it say, Reverend Wilma? Is that weird? Do you think you can help me out? It's an indicator that I'm ready for change. I'm committed to change. I open myself up to change because I want to get out. Do you think you can help me out? Can we say out? I want to get out. I want to move higher. And so it is. Can we do an affirmation this morning? Can you stand on your feet and do this affirmation with me? You know, every time I ask you to stand up, you burn calories. Just repeat after me. In the midst of a valley, I affirm the removal of my personal shadows as I journey through mourning and grief. I embrace the truth that where there are valleys, there are mountains nearby and brighter light awaiting me. My grief is good. My grief is grateful. My grief is pulling me inward so I can spring forward and reveal my unique gifting. Renaissance Union, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Thanks for having me this morning. God bless each and every one of you.